Introduction. I'm sharing my screen. Just, hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Devender Arora. I am a senior bioinformatics scientist at Purdue University. I work in bioinformatics core. So basically, core is a place, a central facility place in a university where where professors from different departments who don't understand or don't have the expertise of specific field can go and do the analysis by using the expert opinion. So I am in course. I work with professor from across the discipline, either from computer science, from toxicology, from cancer biology, from molecular biology, and I try to address all of their issues by giving my expert opinion, my experience. Okay, this is something that we can work with, and how we can help you in doing the science in a correct way. So, so going forward, I'm going to simply discuss about uh, from the topic of this current presentation is from token to knowledge, understanding LLM, reasoning in interdisciplinary application. So it all started with a collaboration. I was working with our very long-term collaborators. They were very much interested in understanding secretory proteins, and we were doing that in a very good way. But with time, we realized that whatever we have in the whatever existing methodology we have in the online is not fulfilling our purpose. And to go forward and try to explain what we did, I first would like to discuss what is interdisciplinary science means to me. So my initial thought, or when I was undergrad, my initial thought of interdisciplinary means microbiology, molecular biology, cell biology, statistics, biophysics. They all, when they come together, is interdisciplinary, and we can do magic by understanding all those fields and become expert of biology. But with time, we realize interdisciplinary did not simply means that it is a simple combination of some biology. It means more than biology, like physics. It driven so many natural laws that allow biology to work in a certain way, and it cannot be happen alone by physics and biology. It need chemistry as well. So to understand every single things and to conclude something so concrete, so productive, we have to understand all those science in a single platform. And to have that single platform, we need computer science. And how computer science is helping doing all those things at this moment, it is LLM. And what what does LLM means? They're basically a large language model, sophisticated model that initially was used to process human language, and it was first published by Google team, Google Brain, and it was basically meant to translate English or any language into different language, maybe Hindi, maybe Cantonese, German, Japanese, or any language. But and saying that, I'm also saying like Google developed this and they did not pursue it in a way that ChatGPT have done in the initial phase of this revolution. And what LLM have advanced neural network with massive amount of text, and they can analyze not only the text, they can analyze pattern, they can also analyze data, how something can be predict from certain amount of data, whether the stock go up, whether the stock go down, whether some protein go up, whether the protein go down, and and so on. And it can help you in making decision making, like if something happened for X region, what we can do to solve this problem, and what we can do to help it go better. And saying that, we all have come across this chat gpt. We cannot deny the fact that chat gpt is now our day-to-day life uh, partner, which help us in so many ways, not only in texting, in consulting, in understanding result that we can see online, but if we have to understand, no one was there before. But now chat gpt or even Gemini, now Gemini or Llama, they are helping us in a very different ways. And how they are doing that, basically, even even if you see this simple mobile like a chat GPT app, we can put how are you. So it take all those how are you, like all those single alphabet, and try to make it into something called token, and this token go inside, and there the beauty going to happen. And how they happen is using a transformer are nothing just neural network that I already said in my previous slide. And what it do is it try to understand our context. What does the input look like? And doing that, it will try to see the token and try to understand and process. Okay, for this, how are you? What? How should we? Uh, how should this transformer, this LLM should respond? So in that case, it process and then it will say, okay, I'm fine, thank you. And how it happens for this context, I just took this OpenAI tokenizer web page and put it my query. How are you? I hope everything is fine with you. And after that, I just put a paragraph from a published paper to see how many token I have put it in that particular context for GPT-5. And I found that 50 tokens was used for this small query that I have put it in that case. And how they identified this 50 query, and they identified using using their own context. It is not like it will take H1O to W3. It will use how as one, and it may like cut a single sentence into multiple sentence so that it can understand the context better. For example, a signal can be a signal in terms of a chemical signal, and it can be a signal in terms of a neurological signal, or in terms of any signal with respect to a transmitter. And it can be anything. So to understand that, it will try to make each input query into tokens, and these tokens is then go back into 0 1 form. And basically from there it process, okay, but this is what the context look like, and how should I respond will be according to this context. So how basically now we have, sorry, now we understand that token are something that we input into the context, and it can be text context, it can be a image context, where if we have some image, it will make it into small windows and put it there, and it will again make a neural network of that and try to explain, okay, this image make like it belongs to this, and this is what user query is, and now with what the LLM think, and it will give the result accordingly. So how we can leverage this LLM in our day-to-day case? So to do that, we have a big library like Hugging Face. Like we have GitHub where we have codes, we have some public library where we have some information available for images. So for LLM, we have a library called Hugging Face where we have all the pre-trained model. Pre-trained model are something which already have all the information, and this model have this possibility to polish according to specific field. And when we polish to specific field, we try to make it uh, make it to for a specific use case, like from text to speech, from audio to video, anything we can say that. And the final product is what we use for a specific application. And right now, these polished models are the product in so many industries and have been used for so many use cases. So once I identified, okay, this is something cool, we can also use that. But how we can use it, and what people are doing in this particular field. So as I am from bioinformatics background, we went back and see, okay, what people are doing with this LLM and bioinformatics. We came to know certain very recently published application like GPT cell type. It is one of the way to annotate how clusters of cell are belongs to which particular cell type. We used to do cell type annotation in our field. Just to give an example, like we have a colony, and we would like to we would like to say, okay, this colony have a temple, a mosque, or a church, or Gurdwara. So just to identify where these things are, we used to do it manually, or we used to use some library and then manually go and see, okay, this is something X, Y, Z. we have to annotate. But it was so time taking, so difficult to annotate them. GPT came and played a cool role in that. Like it will, for human, it will do annotation in minutes. What it will do is it will try to see the cluster and try to see the pattern, these tokens, and see, okay, this token belong is look like a B cell. So it will say, okay, this particular group of cells are B cell, this particular cell are T cell, or this particular group of cell is lymphocyte, or whatever cell it is. So this become massive hit, and it published in Nature Biotech, which is like 40 or 50 impact factor, and become a huge news at that time. And similarly, we have something called Signal P, which is for signal peptide or secretory protein identification tool to predict how a specific sequence is behaving inside the cell. Either it is a secretory protein or it is not a secretory protein. And we have something called BIA, bioinformatics agent, which help in developing pipelines. So we get some raw files, and how we will leverage that raw file to identify whether how the genes inside the raw file or protein in that raw file can be extracted in what manner, what would be the best approach. And to see that, they develop some very cool BIA, bioinformatics agent. And similarly, we have this PubMed PubMed is so useful for us. Like it will, if we would like to see, okay, we have such specific genes of interest or protein of interest, how this genes of interest or protein of interest actually been reported earlier in the PubMed. PubMed is a very famous database for publicly available for all the published literature in biology or in other cases that is published in some reputed journals. So we can put some particular specific gene, and it will say, okay, this particular gene is involved in some kind of cancer or some kind of disease, or it is a targeted protein. It is an important protein which, if we bind some drug, it will neutralize the disease. So very powerful tool developed, and it is being used for so many things. Similarly, we found there was something called protein stability prediction, and what it was doing is it was identifying whether a class of protein is hello class or not. Like a protein is salt tolerance or drought or some kind of tolerance was there in protein or not. So after going through all those literature, we found, okay, these things are cool. How we can leverage such tools and like such LLM and make our own application. So we were already working with our collaborator, and we were doing the signal protein or secretory protein identification, and we use Signal P. The paper I have highlighted, the bigger one, and it jobs pretty well. But we were not confident with some of the result that it showed. So we thought, why not we can fine tune our some pre-trained model and see whether we can make sense out of it. So what we did is, okay, before that, there is one more application that very recently came from Microsoft team. They developed something called BioAgent, and what this BioAgent was doing is, we were giving it simply we were giving some context. Okay, uh, the context maybe there is some mango that is developed that when grown in the southern part of India tastes different, and when it grows in northern part of India tastes different. We have to make a pipeline, we have to run it, and we have to do everything by some kind of agent, and they will answer us. So what it do is, it will go into like the agent, when we feed the query, it will go into PubMed. It will see whether there are some already publicly available data or not. If we have some data, it will go and try to see how much that like the data has been processed earlier. Agent do everything. We don't do, and we just see. Agent try to see, okay, this is how we have the raw file, or the file has been QC, quality check has been done. If quality check has been done, how far they have been gone, like they have mapped with some reference genome, they did some kind of some analysis before. And if we have that, it download that, it will see whether what particular information we are also providing. Like either we also have some data, raw data, it will go and try to see, okay, we have data in that format, how it will analyze that how it will, we have to do the QC and how we will map and how we will get to the certain point where we can do the analysis and find, okay, these pathways were different in this mango variety and this pathway were different in that mango variety. And then it will go into biostars. That was the cool thing that I was doing. I was reading about the paper. Biostar is like Stack Overflow of biotechnology, where we put the queries and we try to find the answer of specific use case or specific problems. So it go into biostar and try to fetch if we get some into issues and try to answer all these questions and doing all the analysis by itself. I was seriously amazed. Okay, bioagents are something that is so cool, and it was doing the analysis by its by own way, making their own decision. Okay, if there we have a count matrix where we have so many number of genes and we have so many counts for each sample, now what would be the next step? And it was deciding, okay, we use this tool or should we use that tool? And if we use this tool, we are getting this result. If we use Y tool, we are getting some different result. It was making decision of their own. So that was something very cool I identified from the Microsoft. And then we decided, okay, now, okay, we understand everything, and now how we can use this large language model. So what we did is we went to the literature and tried to see if they like we have Chat GPT, we have uh, Gemini, we have Claude, what we have for bioinformatics, what LLM we have. So we came to know Facebook or Meta, right now the Meta, they are also working with the biotechnological side of the industry, and they were also developing some large language model specific for the biotech use case. So they developed a model called ESM2, which is evolutionary scale model, and with different parameter like 650 million parameters, some few billion parameter, or a less weighted parameter. And they made it open source so that everyone can use and try to make things better. So what we did, we went and collected the ESM, downloaded the ESM2 model, and now our goal was how we will do the fine tuning. We made so many assumptions. We try to see, okay, what are the causes, what are the issues that if somebody is doing the fine tuning can come, and what are the method that is available, what is best for our use case. And finally, we came up with this approach where we downloaded the ESM2 model. We fine-tuned using LoRa, and LoRa is basically low-rank adaptation where it reduce the big matrix into small matrix and try to make it again the bigger one. It is complex, but so effective approach to do the to fine tune a model for a specific use case. We downloaded few because we were working with secretory protein analysis. Secretory protein are basically a kind of protein like snake release venom for a defense. Secretory proteins are the proteins that been secreted by some organism, maybe some plant, for some most of the time for the defense, but sometimes for to release the pressure from the inside as well. And in the scientific community, people I have seen agriculture scientists or some insect scientists, they are very much interested in understanding how their secretory proteins behave in different conditions. And in my case, our collaborator was very much interested in understanding how secretory proteins are making defense against a specific kind of insect that is making the crop destroy in a specific time point. So we downloaded some of the well-known secretory protein from publicly available database called Uniprot, and some of the protein we know that they are not secretory proteins, and used them as a training model to fine tune the model. And when we did that, we used some classical machine learning approach like SVM, linear regression, or ensemble based model, and we made sure that we will not overfit everything, and we will not overfit the model. So we use a learning rate. We were continuously monitoring the the if there is any overfitting or not. And we were we are always like checking the if there is any leakage is going on, and if not, then we were okay. That model is going fine. Once this pipeline was done, and what we added one more layer called domain knowledge. Domain knowledge is if I have to give a context, is like if we go and use DeepSeek, and if we ask something about Arunachal Pradesh, it will not give an answer that we would like to listen, we would like to hear. And basically, this is this is their side of the story, which they would like to explain to the world, which is absolutely, we all know that this is something which is according to them. But this domain knowledge can also help in addressing the hallucination that 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 this LLM think that this is the right answer, but we know that this is not the right answer. So what we did is we ran the model, and we found that the support vector machine from across all from all those machine learning models we applied, they all performed pretty well, because we have a large test data and trained data, and we found that they were giving they were giving the very high accuracy, and precision recall value was like almost perfect. And when we did that, we also did some evaluation on the metrics, like F1 score, how was the support, what was the macro average, weighted average, and the most important MCC value. We checked the MCC value was 0.98. It is like close to 1. So we found that our model, what we have developed, is something state of the art model we have developed, and it is predicting the proteins from the already reported protein that we know that they are secretory protein and non-secretory protein. It was able to predict 199 out of 202 proteins. So it was like close to perfect. And when we did that, this is how we were able to identify it from the known set of proteins. Okay, our model able to classify what is non-functional and what is functional. So good. Now the real test came, whether when we give the insect proteins that we were interested in knowing whether they have some secretory protein or not, how well it will perform. But to do that, we developed some additional, like some more sophisticated mathematical pipeline to predict whether we can our model can predict a result better than any other existing model. So I already discussed, we have signal P, we have other model as well, like target P, Phobias, Wolf Pisot, TMHMM. They do they all take same kind of input, but give a different story of that particular input. Like some, like TMHMM, it is a transmembrane HMM model, which will predict whether a protein is identified, is like predicted in membrane of a cell or not. If a protein is in membrane, we by by far we confidently say they are not secretory protein, because secretory protein have some proteins or some properties that it should not be in the membrane of the cell. If it is in the membrane, we should immediately reject that. Similarly, we have for Wolf Pisot. Wolf Pisot also said like the localization of the protein, like that protein is in nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, or wherever it is located, we can pinpoint that with Wolf Pisot. Similarly, signal P and target P are signal peptide, and Phobias is a mixture of signal peptide and transmembrane. They predict both. Now we know that our model was predicting signal peptide or signal protein, and signal P and target P was also doing the same. So what we did, we know from we did some more literature survey, and this particular domain knowledge, we acquired some domain knowledge of secretory proteins, and we identified there are patterns in secretory proteins that we should not ignore. So what we did, we identified all those patterns. We make a list of library and a dictionary, and put it into our LLM, and added one more layer. So whenever it hallucinate and say, okay, this particular sequence is secretory protein, it will go to the domain knowledge library and say, okay, no, this is not a secretory protein library. It is not a secretory protein stuff. Just ignore that and remove that. So by doing that, and by developing such pipeline, we were able to classify secretory proteins from our own model, the LLM model, and it gave 836. We put it like 22,000 inputs, like query sequence, that our model never saw. Like it never sees those 22,000 protein sequences, and it was able to accurately identify the secretory protein that was also identified as secretory protein or associated to some part which is known as secretory proteins. And when we did, what we found was were quite astonishing, and we were able to like go further and like we were in validating stage. We validated few of the proteins, and then we started looking into previously published literature on that particular uh, insect, whether any of the protein that that we identified using our use case is have ever been reported as secretory proteins. And we found most of the protein that our model predicted is already reported by some way in the literature for possessing those secretory protein properties and behavior. So this is how we were able to uh, classify. We were able to develop a model, state of the art model, that can predict with almost like 100, like 99% accuracy if a protein is secretory protein and not a secretory protein. Our additional the layer of like putting the motif, the knowledge database information made our model a better model than whatever is already available in the existing domain knowledge. And we uh, we found it. We were so lucky to do so. Now what we have done everything, and everything was done like this pipeline was run manually. Now what we identified a new gap that we are currently filling. We are developing agents so that whatever we are doing it manually here, the agent will go and decide, okay, we have done a specific step now, and what should be the next step, and whether this next step should be run parallelly or should run after completion of the first step. And then it will go and it will directly give end result to the user than going manually and try to make all those analyses one by one. So this is where we are right now, and this is how we were able to identify different number of proteins using all the set. Like using our LLM, we were able to identify 2,559. But after like comparing and benchmarking with all those results, all those modules, all those publicly available software, we were able to reduce into 836 strongly identified signal proteins that we are currently working with, and we are making it into a strong report. So with that, there are other use case for the multiomics for this large language model in the biotech or other field like drug repurposing. We know that there are so many existing drugs that is now not being effective for specific disease, but they can be used for some different kind of disease or some different kind of use case for within the healthcare, because they are already FDA approved, and FDA approval take so long time. So it can save so much of time of healthcare industry, and it can be a very powerful tool for the healthcare for the entire community. We can do smart multiomics integration. So basically, this second point, whatever I highlighted here, smart multiomics integration, we are currently working on this particular use case. We have developed something state of the art tool which is going to be licensed to some industry. So just going to highlight like this is something that is so useful for this lives for the healthcare or for the science. And the third one is intelligent code mentor, that we are now seeing that Gemini or chat GPT, we can give video access, and it can teach, okay, this is how you are doing, this is not you are doing. There are so many use case involved. We can explore using this large language model, and it can be a game changer. And there are so many application to robotics. I was recently watching one video from some group in the Switzerland. They were developing a very like cheap uh, cleaner robot that was so effective, so cool. So they use LLM, put it on the Raspberry Pi, and make it make a viral video out of it, which got so much of attention. So there are so many applications for using this large language model. And understanding the token is so critical in all those cases. Like I forgot to mention, like the Chat GPT have different way of making the token, and similarly, what we have used ESM, they have different way of taking the token. Like Chat GPT make one context how as a one token, but in ESM2 model that we use, it take one alphabet as one model because they have protein sequences, and proteins are basically amino acids combination of three like amino acid, and like they are like polypeptide, and they took one amino acid as one token, second amino acid as a second token, and this is how we have to understand what particular LLM we are using, how the tokens work in each LLM, and what particular tool we should use to polish. Like we use LoRa, uh, uh, we use certain different steps within the within our pipeline to polish. And like Optuna, we use Optuna, which is very effective in and like speed, like time saving step to for polishing the entire pipeline. And yes, this is how we can go. The it comes when we were running the analysis. What are the challenges we face? We face reliability and transparency. Like initially, we use some steps that led us to decide, okay, this are not working, and we have to go back and try to understand how people are using. That time, even ChatGPT was not that good in giving answering. So we went into Reddit and tried to understand, okay, how people are doing the fine tuning, and came to know that about Optuna. This was something that we came to know. And these are very intense in computers. They need so many compute resources, and they need GPU. If you don't have GPU, we try to polish or we try to build something specific for use case. It is so time taking process, and it may take like few weeks to fine tune a small model as well. And the biggest problem I have seen is hallucination. Addressing hallucination is very difficult. Although we try to address using the domain knowledge, but there are certain aspects we cannot ignore that this model takes. So we have to come up with approaches that we can use to at least address this hallucination. Like the case of signal, the signal can be read in a different ways by every single LLM model that we have in the market today. And how and it if it take signal as a different context, it will give a different answer. So basically, how we will address this issue is biggest. Like this hallucination is the biggest challenge I have seen personally. And scalability, how we will make it to scale simply, not just for one use case. We fine tune a model for one use case and forget. It should be used for a bigger purpose. And just before I conclude everything, I just want like to say, we when ChatGPT came, I have seen, I have observed, even I was in the same boat. We were so concerned. Okay, this is something that is in the market. We should not use. We should not tell to our student to use it. But with time and with whatever I was seeing in my environment, we should not make it enemy. We should make it as a friend. Try to understand how they're using. Try to leverage them, because if we leverage them wisely, we can build something good for the community. And just make it as a friend and don't trust blindly. This is my point. And we should work on our fundamental now, because code can be right. It can write code, but if you don't have the fundamental right, the code whatever it made, this can be garbage, like of no use. But if we have the right understanding and we have the right fundamental, we can use them in a more efficient way, that it can literally produce something out of the box, and which no one have imagined before. And the last thing is collaborate with expert, because expert knows better than uh, the if we are if I now dive into some domain of computer science which I don't know. I would be a foolish stuff. I will do foolish stuff. But if I know that like Dr. Satvik is doing some cool stuff, I will collaborate with him without hesitation and try to see how he can leverage LLM better than me. So this is how I expect things to be done in the like for the future, and expert and let your student to learn more, to explore all this thing more, because this is something that just came like 3 or 4 years back, and we still don't know how to address this situation so that the next generation will be ready for this coming challenges, and they will develop something better for the future generation. And with that, I would like to conclude whatever we have seen, that LLM is transforming not just informatics, healthcare, climate science, finance, and beyond. With respect to finance, I have seen the biggest bank, JP Morgan. I was listening to their interview, and they were like, they get so many phishing stuff, and their model try to, like, with 100% accuracy, they were able to pick, okay, this is something called spam or this is not spam. I was blown up with their with the interview they were and what they have developed internally look for their bank, for their banking system, because they do transaction every second, not within the state, with across the world, and their transactions are so big. If one spam get passed through it, it will make a big news in finance community. And the true power of LLM lies in their ability to bridge disciplines. Like I said, I was a biotech background guy. I moved into bioinformatics. But now the way I'm using this LLM is helping not only me, my user, my team, my friends, everybody in a more productive way. And it already opening up new ways to address critical problems. And like this model we have developed, which is able to predict some proteins that was previously we were not confident, okay, it is predicting it right or not, and what proteins are actually right. Because if when we take this 836 proteins to wet lab, where we will actually validate this, it will be less cost intensive than if we take the thousands of proteins, and try to validate each and every one and say, okay, this is secreted protein and this is not secreted protein. That would be more expensive for the actual use case. So these things are helping, and I would like to encourage each and every one of you to embrace this path and of interdisciplinary. Basically, this is what I would like to say, and contribute so that the next generation will be in a safe side, not like they will struggle to get some good stuff out of it. Yeah, this is what I would like to say, and I would like to happily answer any question you have, any doubt you have, and if you think like you are doing something, or you need my opinion, I'm happy to give you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the such an insightful session. Any questions from the participant side? You are free to ask. Any question? Sir, someone is asking the chat box, as the use of ChatGPT and other tool is not it safe to secure the data, uh, just a minute, or tool to collection of the data, or it's a tool to collection of the data. It's from the
So,
Abhishek Kumar Singh.
so basically, if you are pretty much sure that whatever you are working with is very like important to not get into public, use local LLM. Download the already like DeepSeek already provided an open source LLM. Just go download it, use it locally, so that you will be safe to use them. Or if your organization can afford, at least what I know from my personal point of view, in my university at Purdue, they partner with Microsoft, and we have Copilot, and they have made it in a way that the information, whatever we put it into the Copilot, it will not go into the server of Microsoft. It will remain within the university and not go out. So either this thing can be done, or even in our university, they say you can use ChatGPT, but don't put your own data so that it won't go into their like their database and they will train. Although they say like if you are paid user, yeah, you can make a tick mark and your data will not go. They will not use their data, but we cannot trust. This is my personal opinion, and but I but what I have learned, DeepSeek, like they are some of the tools, they are some of the LLM model they have provided, which can be used locally, and they are very pretty much effective in answering most of the queries. So either use local LLM or ask your wherever you are located to get some kind of uh, co-pilot stuff that can be used by everybody, and the data will be stored locally within your university and not go into the big giants. And
Mhm. Any other questions from the participant side?
Like sir, nowadays the that large language models are somehow they are misleading also, and the people are using it for making the solutions. Like
yeah,
they don't have to code; they just want a solution for LLM to build. So how significant is this?
oh,
Because
this is
that, yeah.
it is a good question. It is very valid question. Chat GPT or any LLM model, they can give any garbage answer, any garbage, anything that you like. If somebody who is not expert, they will feel like, oh, we have done the analysis, we have done something. They are giving the answer, and it looks so pretty perfect that we will get hallucinate by the answer. Okay, this is some that we have developed something, we have generated something. Now we can present. Even I have seen some report from some big country governance that they directly use chat gpt and gave the answer, and they used the chat gpt or whatever model they use. They gave these references of all the things they were saying, and not a single reference was working, not a single reference was true, and it just gave some garbage result. They fell into it, and it not happened once, it happened twice with this body, and still they were using the same LLM model. So there is
Sorry for
some.
the interrupt. Hello. Sorry for the interruption, sir. Actually, the same thing happened with me also. I also searched the references for citing in my research paper, and I got the references of recent year, and first of all cited it in paper. But later on, when I searched it in Google
Devender,
Scholar, I haven't seen it. Oh my God, I was so shocked that my God, without checking, we can't trust ChatGPT or these LLM models.
so these are basically hallucination that happen to almost everybody. It happened to me as well. I'm not denying this fact. And there is no current clear solution to the cross-referencing issue. Or if somebody is working with ChatGPT and giving you the report, like perfect report, you ask your student, okay, make this project, and they enjoy for an entire month, and at the end they just go to ChatGPT Gemini and ask to make a report and submit to you. And to do so, like we have to have our own monitoring, because students are very smart. They try to save their time to do anything, and it is very difficult to address this situation as of now. Whatever we have seen, even we get
So,
hallucinated.
so there is one more question in chat box from Dr. Sachin Kumar. The use of the chat GPT may result in AI plagiarism. How to deal with this issue?
Right? Just take it and read it by yourself.
Yes, sir. So next question is from the Avdesh Kumar Tiwari, sir. Sir is asking, how do scaling laws influence model performance?
Scaling laws. I did not get the answer. Can you elaborate?
So
Scaling.
how do scaling laws influence model performance? Avdesh, sir, I'm audible to you. If you are comfortable, then you can unmute yourself and ask. Maybe your question since we are not getting. So we are moving to the next question from the Javed Khan sir. He's asking most of the reference given by GPT and other LLM model can't find on Google Scholar and other site.
Because they are not true, they are hallucinating. They are
Okay.
just that is the biggest problem, because this LLM are so big model, and getting if this and in some sense it is good that it is not. This is my personal opinion. They are not giving the right references. By not giving that, at least this people are doing some their own homework and try to see, okay, if there is some reference for some claim or not. Otherwise we will go otherwise everyone will go to this Gemini or Chat GPT and make a complete review paper of out of it and publish it, and with all those flow. I found at with some certain extent, if it is not giving a reference, it is too good. Try to go and manually try to see whether the claim that is Chat GPT making, whether it is correct or not. This is my view, and it is, although I have seen my first hand experience also same. They are not giving the right references, and it is okay. We should not be 100% rely on those tools. We should use our own human, like our own like fundamental, some logics. Okay, if they are claiming this, there should be some solid proof. We should go and read how these claims are correct or not. I'm in complete favor of using like this large language model, but if they are hallucinating, we should be extra cautious about it. Not like completely like 100% okay, this is doing this, and so it is correct. It should not be the case.
And sometimes the chat GPT has refined themselves. So if you want some data, like I have to search for data for you, so they have some references also for this. The information is from Prudent University, this information from LinkedIn, or this information for there and here. So they have incorporating day by day. But my question is that, sir, how the things are, how you are looking this LLM and other thing in the research area of bioinformatics or in research area for the person who just started their career. So can you please put light on it?
So it's a good question. If somebody even from biotechnology, not even from bioinformatics, they would like to move into bioinformatics and try to contribute something meaningful. These LLM models are so good. Even if somebody from first year of biotechnology who just entered into the biotechnology and would like to he's interested in doing something in bioinformatics, they don't have any idea. They can go into this LLM model first and try to see, give their contact. Okay, they are just fresh student. They would like to do something by their own to improve their scientific profile, to make their resume better. What kind of project they can do? ChatGPT can give very pretty good options. You can do this project and that project, and this project need that much of computational power. If you have just provide the reference, okay, I have a simple laptop, it can give you a project idea which can be implemented in those particular conditions, like a small laptop as well, not go into this server or clusters. And by doing even at the initial phase of some student, they can develop something so good out of it. If they literally if they are dedicated, they are literally very focused on their career. Even if they are from some college that nobody wants to go, because they know that this college is shit, but somehow they did not get into IITs and IITs or some big college. If they are dedicated, they are so motivated to work after whatever they have gone through. They work, they can use Chat GPT and they can develop something out of it, some small thing out of it, put it in their resume, they will fly. From my personal experience, if when I was doing my BTech, if we have this product Chat GPT, I might be in some big place. I might be in some good place, because they're like friends. They are literally like friends. Chat GPT, they can answer you so many things, and in a way that even a big a professor, a seasoned professor might not able to answer it. They give so good recommendation for your career, for you for what you should do. But we have to use it wisely. We should not go and ask, how can we make bomb. Yesterday I was seeing one meme video. One guy was asking bomb and ChatGPT said no, and then he said how we cannot make bomb, and it said, okay, you can make bomb, like you cannot make, yeah, this is the way of making bomb, don't do that. But he was making, although that was a meme video, but the way we use this LLM model will define how we progress in our career. So if you use ChatGPT just for fun, you are not doing correct. And the good thing about India is it is free for a year. ChatGPT, Gemini, use Gemini. Use if somebody's interested in doing coding, just download Anti-Gravity, take 18-month license from Geo, and use it and develop whatever you want to develop. I'm developing one tool, and I'm just patient about, like, we have a meeting on like next month 12th with our partners, and we have developed something so crazy. I cannot disclose right now, but we have developed something so crazy. We were not expecting to develop with that kind of information it was giving to us, but we have developed something so crazy using, and I used anti-gravity for that to code like to make some logic correct, and it do the job so good. But I have not taken any reference from them because I know that these references are hallucinating stuff that we should not bother about. And now we have a question, sir.
Uh, if generative AI
Right.
is not trustable, how come manufacturer like Google, Microsoft invested huge amount in AI?
It is trustable. I'm not saying I'm not saying it is not trustable. It is trustable, but we have to be extra cautious. It hallucinate. If you go and ask to write a code, it will do a pretty good job, like pretty good job. It will, if you simply ask some, like, the what cursor or anti-gravity to clone a website, it will clone like in anything. And you can do, like, you can basically make your own website in minutes, and it will do job very quickly. That is why these people are investing in those stuff, not in manpower anymore. Like, they're hiring, but they're hiring slowly. And
Sir, I am audible.
yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, yes.
My name is Odhyesh Tiwari. Actually, sir, I have asked the question regarding scaling line influence model, because
Mhm.
a lot of time if I try to train the data, or I will try to the lot of time I certain point I have find ki LLM model stop the refining after the certain point. Performance stop after the certain point. So what is the reason ki it's not after a few threshold point they cannot give the answer, and they will revise and revise and revise and revise.
Oh, okay. This is one problem with every single I have seen with so many LLM models that when we do training, what, in my personal opinion, when I was doing, that model was not meant for that particular application. That is what my personal feeling is. It might not be true for your, but when I was doing, I went to, like, 999 epoch. It was running 999 times, and after 200 times it went to saturation, and it was not giving even 50% of the accuracy. So, but when I switch to different model, it even at 250, I was getting 90 some percent of accuracy. So it depends upon what is the use case you are trying to address, and what pre-trained model you have downloaded, or what are you trying to solve, or what your use case is. So the question is tricky, but from my personal experience, maybe the LLM model you have downloaded is not the correct one. It may be for some other purpose. I
Okay,
cannot
okay.
comment on that. But
There is one more question. I think we are
One more question
well,
from the chat box. That is, as a mathematician, which tool is the best? ChatGPT, Gemini, or Perplexity, or
Claude,
any other?
Claude, Claude,
Claude.
Claude is absolutely beast in mathematical questions.
okay.
Somebody
Correct, correct.
answered.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, yes.
There is a most of the students ask which LLM model is best for taking help to write the code.
Uh, right, right now, right now, almost all the LLM model that I am seeing, whether it is ChatGPT, it is Claude, or it is from Gemini, they all are doing pretty good job. But for me, from my personal experience, ChatGPT, for context, if you give some context, it understands better than any other model. And for writing code and for mathematics, Claude is something right now is taking the lead. But they are comparable. They are comparable. If you want to make some big application, anti-gravity. It is not because it is the best. It is free because it is free if you have GeoSIM in India, and it is like for 18 months you can do. I don't know what I like. The possibilities are endless. You can do so much. Within 1 month, we have developed something very cool. So you have 18 months. With trial version, we have developed something, so some cool stuff. So you have 18 months. So 18 months is too. If some student is so dedicated, they want to develop something, maybe some kind of WhatsApp, which is for the Gen Z or the next generation. They can use that.
There is a request from our participant side in our WhatsApp group. So we need your PPT of the session. So for your
I can share the PPT, but I will remove the result from our pipeline, because we are like it is going to be published very soon.
Okay, no issue. You can remove and
yeah,
the theoretical part you can share.
Yeah, I can share with you. There is no issue.
Okay, fine. I
Sir,
think
there are I have a question, because the people are not asking the question, because some of research scholars are also actively involved in this faculty development program. So what they are doing, they are just taking shortcuts. So for that purpose, you have given a lot of thing about which tool they have to use for mathematics and other stuff. But my question is that how it is relevant in the application or the things that is very crucial, like you are in the field of bioinformatics, so you know that in the healthcare the things are very crucial. You cannot rely on the fake data, and you cannot rely on a model that is that is not trained properly. So in that type of solution, that like what the people are doing, if you're giving some data set, they are asking chat gpt to find out the good model or other tools for doing it. How to segregate these kind of things, because they are not having the core knowledge about the data is linear or non-linear, or data having which type of nature. They are just rapidly asking the question, and they are just putting the problem or taking the problem from the chat gpt and other stuff. So that I guess that make a mind to the researcher, that we have to ask the chat gpt. They will suggest some areas, and we will like to move in that particular direction. So the core study, I guess, that is sacrificed by these llm and the other models. They are playing with our brain. That is, I guess.
It is a good question. So the when I was showing my PPT, I was also saying like work on fundamentals, and fundamental means the textbook knowledge is still very important, and as well as for like it is like they're asking chat gpt to give the best model, which model is best, and it is giving some recommendation. Okay, you can use this model. Don't trust in that case. Just go to the literature, what people are talking about in like published paper, or in like the Google forums or the Reddit, how they are comparing different LLM model, and explaining, okay, this particular model is, if somebody is working with video generation stuff, in your like a student is working with video generation stuff, and if they want to have their own kind of LLM model, if they ask chat gpt, it will give some recommendation that might not be the correct, right model for their use case. So just go to the public forum, try to understand, go to the literature, the current existing literature, what is being developed very recently, how good it is, and whether it is fit to this, but with your use case. And then download those LLM models, then just asking ChatGPT, okay, which particular model can be used for video generation, and it go and down. You can go and download, and it will give it will like deliver something, but it might not be the accurate thing to work with. And ChatGPT is good if you know things better, like you have good fundamental, then ChatGPT can do magic to your use case. But if you don't have right fundamentals about for your own field, like what algorithm should be used, whether like for simple clustering, whether you should, like for simple PCA, like data distribution, you should use PCA plot, tsnp plot, umap, or NMF, what algorithm you should use. It should not, like ChatGPT should not tell this. You should know basically what particular distribution algorithm we should use in our use case. And if we don't have that knowledge as well, then ChatGPT may tell you PCA. But if you compare PCA with UMAP, you will see UMAP might be able to answer the distribution better than the PCA plot, and maybe best suited for your use case. So in those core case, fundamentals are so important. You should know about your field, what you are doing. Like simply, if we do machine learning stuff. Basically, we have 10,000 feature and we would like to run support vector machine. We run random forest. We run that too after asking ChatGPT. We ran everything and we got some important feature. Okay, 10 feature was identified more important feature from this. This 10 features are the main driving factor of that particular use case. But now we would like to validate this using something called what we used to say that. I forgot the term. Basically, that term is I forgot the term. So basically, to run the entire database into that is also kind of machine learning stuff where we try to see if the feature is important or not. If we feed all those 10,000, 20,000 feature we have, it will take ages. It will take ages to uh, to to validate. But if if we have the certain understanding about how machine learning stuff works, we can filter those 20,000 feature to maybe 200, 2,000 feature, and then we validate those 2,000 feature over support vector machine or ensemble or any random forest machine learning method. Those edges can convert into maybe a day. So you have to understand the basic fundamental logic what you are doing. Just asking ChatGPT will give you an answer, but whether this makes sense to your use case is totally dependent upon how well you know what you are doing.
One
Shab,
more
yeah,
question in the
correct,
chat
Shab.
box
Yeah, Shab,
that
Shab.
yep, from where ChatGPT takes the information. Yes, you have right answer. Yes. So what I feel that being a researcher that started their career, they have to lead to the basic from bookish knowledge before coming to the chat GPT and other stuff, because it's a very advanced version. First, they have to knowledge about the basic fundamentals about the mathematics and other stuff. Then they have to apply it. So that will be more useful as compared to using rational one.
Basically, you will ace if you have the fundamental knowledge. You will ace. Like Google or Microsoft. This company now not going to hire somebody who know coding better. They would like to hire those who have the better context as well. So we have to polish train our student in a way they don't only fall for chat GPT, they will fall for the knowledge. Now the
One
knowledge
more,
will be the core.
one more beginner question from the research background. Which tool is best for the paper writing, generating the reference
That's
and generate code? So,
For
So these
generating
are the curiosity. These are the curiosity of the researcher and the person who want to, spend their being in the research
actually,
arena. So they have the same questions that the people are asking.
So, so for generating code, ChatGPT, Claude both do very good job. For writing paper, you have to write by yourself because you
yeah.
are designing your experiment. You are designing your own pipeline. If you
That,
ask, or one thing you can do is, if you are lazy, give your pipeline ID, whatever you have done, not tell exactly what you are doing, to ChatGPT and ask to write a draft manuscript, and then copy that and rewrite it according to what you have done actually. So that might be the faster way if you are lazy enough. But for references, go Google Scholar.
that's the perfect answer. And the perfect way to do research.
So right now, this is the right way. Just you just generate a draft out
Mhm.
of Google, ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you are working with, and then rewrite it or rewrite it.
Hmm. Any other
हेलो
question from
क्वेश्चन
the participant
एक
side?
क्वेश्चन था सर हिंदी में आई थिंक मैं पूछना
हाँ
चाहूंगा कि
बोलो यार.
जैसे थैंक यू सर एक्चुअली सर जो हम लोग अजम्पशन बेस मान लेते हैं कि चैट जीपीटी जो लिख रहा है वो बेस्ट है और उसको ही हम लोग बेस ट्यूटोरियल या बेस जो फंडामेंटल है मान के आगे हम लोग उस पर अप्लाई करना शुरू कर देते हैं कोई भी पेपर लिखने के लिए। तो ये कहाँ तक सही है सर? या तो फिर मैं कोर बुक लेके या कोर ऑथेंटिक चीज लेके पढ़ना शुरू करूँ, क्योंकि चैट जीपीटी ऑटोमेटिकली अपडेट हो रहा है अब कई सारे रिसोर्सेज को लेके। तो वो कहीं ना कहीं कई सारे रिसोर्सेज को लेके ही मुझे दे रहा है कि ये आंसर जहां तक बेस्ट है। बायस जनरेट हो जाए वो अलग बात है, लेकिन ये कहाँ तक सही है सर?
यार चैट जीपीटी बेसिकली पीछे एल्गोरिदम यूज होती है रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग। अब रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग क्या बोलता है, अपनी गलतियों से सीखकर अपने आप को सुधारो। तो चैट जीपीटी जब आया था तब तो वो बहुत ब्लंडर था, ठीक है। अभी जो है अभी भी वो सीख ही रहा है। वो भी कैसे सीख रहा है, हम उससे बोलते हैं कि इसका रेफरेंस दे। तो आज की डेट में चैट जीपीटी रेफरेंस काफी हद तक एक्यूरेट भी देता है, ऐसी बातें नहीं देता है। कैसे दे पा रहा है, क्योंकि वो अपनी गलतियों से सीख रहा है। तो अगर तुम अगर तुम्हारे पास फंड बुकिश नॉलेज नहीं है तो तुम तो फिर मतलब हम तो सब मान लेंगे ना कि भाई ठीक है कि चैट जीपीटी बोला तो सही होगा। तो हमें अपनी अपनी ब्रेन को ओपन रखना ही पड़ेगा, चाहे चैट जीपीटी 100% एक्यूरेट दे दे। हम उसके ऊपर रिलाई नहीं कर सकते। जैसे चैट जीपीटी को हम हेल्थ, अभी चैट जीपीटी ने हेल्थ केयर के लिए कुछ नया उन्होंने रिलीज किया है, चाहे वो कर ले हेल्थ केयर के लिए कर ले, वो नीचे एक एक्सप्लेनेशन एक देगा, स्टार मार्क देगा कि भाई आप स्टिल डॉक्टर को कंसल्ट करना, ये करना वो करना। क्यों करेगा? क्योंकि क्योंकि वो 100% एक्यूरेट होने के बाद भी आप वो एक उसके आगे आर्टिफिशियल लगा हुआ है। आप वो आर्टिफिशियली बता रहा है, वो एक
बिल्कुल।
इंटेलिजेंस है लेकिन वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है। वो हाँ, वो जैसे मैं इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी बोलता हूँ कि जिसमें जिसमें फिजिक्स भी है, केमिस्ट्री भी है, मैथ्स भी है, बायोलॉजी भी है, सब सब कुछ मिलाकर एक 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 सिस्टम बनता है। ऐसे ही चैट जीपीटी को भी पूरा, अगर हम सारा कॉन्टेक्ट नहीं देंगे तो चैट जीपीटी तब भी आंसर देगा। लेकिन अगर एक मिसिंग गैप है, वो हेलुसिनेशन वो नहीं, हम नहीं पता लगा पाएंगे। हम खुद एक इंसान है और हमें जो कुछ प्रोवाइड कर रहा है वो हमारी ह्यूमन नॉलेज से पहले, मतलब हम जितना हमने गैदर किया है वो उससे पहले बहुत अच्छा दे रहा है। लेकिन लेकिन अगर हम अपनी सेंस का यूज नहीं करेंगे तो हम उसको मान लेंगे भाई सही है, बढ़िया है, आ गया आंसर, आ गया रिजल्ट, आ गया, बढ़िया हो गया। वी हैव डन इट, वी हैव cracked the biggest code of the human science. We will get Nobel laureate now. ऐसा नहीं होगा। ऐसा करने के लिए आपको अपना खुद का देखना पड़ेगा कि ये क्या साइंस बना भी रहा है कि नहीं बना रहा।
इट
One
ऑल्सो
more
डिपेंड
last.
अपॉन द प्रॉम्प्ट सर। प्रॉम्प्ट जैसा यूज करेगा
हाँ,
आदमी, आंसर उसी तरीके से मिलेगा।
प्रॉम्प्ट
आप
वही
प्रॉम्प्ट
कॉन्टेक्स्ट।
एकदम रैशनल यूज कर देंगे तो हो सकता है कुछ भी रिजल्ट दे दे।
हाँ, प्रॉम्प्ट वही कॉन्टेक्स्ट। अगर कॉन्टेक्स्ट हम
यस।
सही नहीं दे रहे, अगर प्रॉम्प्ट सही नहीं दे रहे, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं मिसिंग गैप होगा, वो उस मिसिंग गैप को खुद भर लेगा वो। और उस वही वही एलुसिनेशन करता है कॉन्टेक्स्ट। और अब ये भी अपने आप को इम्प्रूव कर रहा है। कैसे कर रहा है? रीइंफोर्समेंट लर्निंग। वो बता रहा है कि देख रहा है कि अच्छा ये तो गलत हो गया, मतलब ये कॉन्टिन्यूअसली ये चीजें मतलब उनका भी कोई ना कोई फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म होगा कि ये आंसर बार बार दे रहा है, ये गलत है, इसको ठीक किया जाए। तो रेफरेंसेस उससे करेक्ट हो रही है। अभी एक क्वेश्चन आया है कि परप्लेक्सिटी एआई विल हेल्प फॉर
This is
thesis
right.
writing. I don't know यार। Sorry sir, I don't I am for thesis I have used perplexity, but I'm not confident whatever they have resulted in. I was like, okay, they are just.
Yes, sir. Let me say that thing. So when you want to write a resume, this perplexity AI will help. The same way we can reproduce the thesis writing or paper writing. That's what my question.
You are not audible. Like, can you repeat the question again?
Sir, he is telling that the perplexity is used for resume writing. For the
Mm-hmm.
same scenario, if you want to write the research paper, so can it be possible to write with the perplexity? He's asking about that. The perplexity city is free, sir, because if you are having the Airtel connection in India, so
Yeah.
they are giving you 20 more, like a 3-year free for
Okay. Okay.
perplexity. So,
Okay. I have used the Airtel Perplexity as well, the Pro one, and what I found is it is exactly same as the free version. They just try to make more user in India by giving this advertisement that we are giving you Pro, but it felt like the free version is exactly similar to the Pro version. They're just trying to make more user in India by doing by. This is my personal feeling. This is marketing gimmick from Perplexity. Better use ChatGPT or Gemini. They are really free. They are giving the good answer. But Perplexity is when I tried, I have the pro version, and I felt like they are not good enough. They're not giving the updated references for whatever they are claiming it, and by doing that, if they're not giving the updated references, we are still relying on the older references. We cannot go that way. So in most of the database like PubMed, Archive, Scopus has paid content and anti-robotic architecture. That was reference sometime are hallucinating. That might be one. That may be one reason that Hassan just raised. Maybe because paid content is the root cause of the hallucination it generated. I know that it hallucinate, but the reason I don't know. I'm not that into the model why this thing is happening.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
from where the
So
chat.
I hope we have a sufficient number of questions, and thank you for such a nice discussion from Devender sir. So by this knowledgeful interaction, we now going to conclude the first session of this Atal FDP. So thank you so much, sir, for delivering such an insightful and intellectually enriching session on from tokens to knowledge, understanding NLM reasoning in interdisciplinary application. The way you have, no doubt, you have explained how large language model move beyond simple token prediction to structured reasoning across domains and was truly fascinating and deeply informative. Your discussion and integrating AI with the real world interdisciplinary research, especially in the data-intensive scientific context, provide us with valuable clarity and practical understanding. Your depth of knowledge, clarity of the concept, and ability to bridge the theory with the application have added immense value to this program. We sincerely appreciate your time, effort, and expertise you shared with all of the participants. With this, day one session one of the Atal FDP come to the successful conclusion. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
the.
sir, for dealing with all type of question regarding LLM, because that is very popular and the people are having curiosity of asking the questions. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you for inviting. I would like to say thank you for inviting and giving me the chance to discuss with the wider audience and basically the audience that is basically professional, professor, assistant professor, and student as well. So sharing my knowledge to diverse audience is gem for me, and I'm very happy to be part of this important faculty development program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. So,
Thank you.
participant, please wait for